So here we are, episode 9, the Buckin grind. And, I feel like every episode we come in here and I'm always like, I'm so excited. This is going to be the best episode. And maybe it's only because it's episode 9 and I'm really easily excited. But I think that's probably a lot to do with it.
I hope you keep that energy for episode 900 too.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, I know. We all know that.
But the thing that I love about this episode is we're just going to tell a story about one specific deer.
And a bunch of rabbit holes.
And we'll go down some rabbit holes. But if you look at the history of humanity, to get philosophical, the history of humanity is storytelling. We pass down what we learn from generation to generation through storytelling. And then that evolved to written word. We had written histories and then that evolved into textbooks. And so podcasts are just kind of an evolved state, I guess would be the way to say it. An evolved state of storytelling.
One step in the evolution.
That's right.
We're just chiseling our story into the electronic rock right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're telling a story. So we're kind of going back to the roots of humanity. And, isn't that what hunting's all about? Like, my favorite part of hunting season isn't necessarily being in the woods and chasing deer, although it's a big part. But maybe my favorite part might be getting together with all the guys and gals afterwards and hearing their stories about how their season went, how their hunt went, meeting them up for a tailgate high five.
And some of them you're gonna hear the same story that you've already heard.
Oh yeah.
How many times?
Yeah.
It's just as good every single time.
It's bigger and bigger.
Yeah. The good stories actually get better.
Oh yeah.
As the years go by.
In my family, it gets darker and darker when the shot happened.
Oh yeah.
Or later and later in the summer.
When somebody tells you a story and you're like, wait, last year you weren't being chased by a grizzly bear. Now you were?
Now you were? In Pennsylvania? That gets really odd.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that happened.
Grizzly, game commissioner, same thing. Yeah. Practically.
I don't know.
Just kidding. JK.
They were growling at me. I know that.
So, we've all had those seasons that just wear you out, and I think so I got this deer, Bert. His name's Bert, by the way.
He's shy.
And he is shy, but we have him here on the show. He's mic'd up.
Say something, Bert.
Yeah.
Meh. Bert. Well, last time I heard you say that was in 2021.
Right before.
So he's not real talkative, though. He is kind of shy. Yeah. He doesn't like his picture taken. I never had a trail cam picture of him or anything.
We did, however, just in case anybody notices, we got a new camera.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. For this episode, so I'm pretty excited about that because I like getting new gear.
Yeah, you do.
We'll have to ask Bert, if he thinks it was worth it. I think Bert's watched a couple episodes already, hasn't he?
I don't know. He won't even look at us. He's staring at the wall.
Yeah, he's kind of like side-eyeing me right now.
He does not want to be here tonight.
Yeah, I guess our subscribers let us know if this camera's better, worse, what you think of it.
Oh.
Maybe what else we could improve on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Give us some hints. Joe
Other than the
loves
host,
to spend money.
Yeah. Other than the hosts, because we're staying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can find it on eBay, I can find a way to buy it.
Yeah.
Yep. Or justify the need.
Or justify it, yeah. Yeah, we're the king of justifications.
I should get an eBay sponsorship. Side note. Okay, sorry.
Do they do that?
I don't know.
Let's look into it.
I've never seen them on like a NASCAR or anything. Have you?
No.
eBay?
I mean, we'll hang an eBay
You'd be a
banner up here.
I should be.
You should be up there.
So,
all right.
Oh,
Bert.
Yeah, Bert.
Yeah.
So,
let's not ignore our
let's
guest.
not ignore our guests. Yeah, we do get rude sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
So
over talking them.
You have those seasons where you hunt. At least for me, up until I met Bert, it was if I had a bad season, it was just a slow season.
you just said up until you met Bert.
Right. I just slipped that in.
That right. You thought I wasn't going to notice.
That year was the changing point.
Bert changed a lot for me. Thank you.
There was COVID, then there was Bert.
We devolved so quickly.
All right, sorry about that interruption. Teddy and I lost it. As best as Jesse was trying to keep us together, Teddy and I absolutely lost it there for a second. We were having way too much fun.
So, where was that before I met Bert? A typical bad season for me would be a slow season where you hunt hard, you're logging a ton of hours, and you're just not seeing a deer. It's like no matter what I do, I'm hunting the stands that have always produced for me before. I'm hunting the oaks on a year for acorns, or I'm hunting the food plots on a year where there's no acorns, and you just can't buy a deer sighting, you know. This 2021 was the opposite of that, and it was maybe worse. Not maybe, it was definitely worse. I had tons of opportunity that I just screwed up every time. I missed a deer in archery. I was really cold, and so when he came in, I went to draw, and my body was like, nope,
Not right
this
now.
ain't happening. And so he busted me on my draw because I'm doing the whole,
the old heaven and hell.
Yeah, and I get back and he runs, and I'm doing the whole map, and he's not stopping. So now I'm going, hey, and I'm yelling at him, and I think he actually went, yay, buck, and then he was like, stop, but he was super high alert. He ducked the arrow, and then earlier in the archery season, I had left the stand way early because it started to rain, and it wasn't even raining all that hard. But I was like, it's 8:15 in the morning. I gave it a good old college try.
Yeah.
I didn't. I sat there for 45 minutes and was like, it's drizzling. I'm out. And I get back home, and my cell cam starts pinging a beautiful deer right in front of that stand, and it was just opportunities like that all season long that I just kept screwing up, And then up at our camp where we rifle hunt, I don't really name deer, but sometimes a name pops up as a joke and it just sticks. And so for 2 years, we had this buck on camera that was mainframe 10. And he had a lot of stickers. He had a lot of cool stuff going on. Great buck. So in 21, in the summer, I'm up there with my brothers. We're on my laptop. We're looking at the camera card. And we see this buck. And one of us, I don't remember who, nicknamed him Megatron. And it just stuck. So I see Megatron in rifle season, maybe the second or third day season. I think it was day 2. So I'm in a tree stand. I got all these other deer underneath me, a couple young bucks, couple does. and they've all got me pegged. And so I'm not really wanting to move, but I happen to look over my shoulder, and there's Megatron working a scrape. And I'm like, I spin, I get on him. There's bucks. I can hear the deer they're 10 feet from the bottom, and I can hear them stomp, and I'm thinking, definitely was dealing with some target panic. Yeah. I got on the deer. There was like some blow down brush, and I was like,
send it.
I sent it, and I hit him, but I hit him back, and he's walking. And so I hit him again, and I hit him hard and hit him good on the second hit, and he's running, and that head's going down, and the head's going down, and I'm watching this buck, and another shot rings out. And another hunter was sitting on the property corner line. And we hunt a piece of private property, but other people have permission to be on it, right? Mm-hmm. And another hunter harvested them. So that is excited for the guy. Yeah. But it was a real kick in the what. I went up, I shook his hand to congratulate him on a great deer, And I went back to the cabin and was like, what do you do? After a season like that where I've already had all these opportunities that I've screwed up, and then I screwed up that one. Yeah. So I was done for that rifle season, so we go into that last week of rifle season. I hadn't hunted again. And my wife is not a hunter, but she's heard me talk a lot about hunting, and there's a valley that she knows I've wanted to still hunt for years, but I've always wanted to do it during the rain. There's a lot of oaks in there, so there's a lot of crunchy leaves, and there's a lot of bedding. There's no good vantage points, but it's the property surrounding it gets hunted hard, but the access to the valley is pretty limited. So a lot of deer get pushed in there, but really, if you're not accessing it from mine or my neighbor's property, the access to get to it's pretty rough. So it'd be a great spot to hunt, but you want to still hunt it. Well, anyways, my wife tells me, it's been raining all day. Why don't you go out and hunt? And I said, babe, I'm done for this season. You know the way I feel, what I've gone through. I'm just, we had talked earlier, and one of you had said, you just got to regroup. Yeah. It's like, yeah. And I had stopped enjoying season after that many mistakes made.
Close calls. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. That I wasn't going, but she talked to me. She said, I know you, you're not a quitter. You're going to look back in a week from now and be like, ticked that I didn't push it and go the extra mile, And so I called up my buddy Curtis, one of my best friends, and I said, "You got a doe tag for the valley behind my house. Let's go." And he's like, "All right, we'll go on doe patrol," because that's all I figured would be in there.
Right.
So we walk through the valley. We still hunt it. We get to the end. We have a coffee, a granola bar, whatever. We turn around. We come back. We just walk through these woods. We're not thinking we're going to see anything, And, when you get in a bad patch of briars and you just
head down, pick a trail, just do it.
And just get through it. And your hand's bleeding and your knees are bleeding. And I got into a pretty thick briar patch and I really just barreled.
Sound like the Kool-Aid man coming out the other side.
Yeah. But then I was like, I'm sure I got ahead of Curtis. I know he's on the other side, which is all hardwoods, and I kind of was on the side that rips you up pretty good. But I'm thinking, I bet I got ahead of him. So I'm just going to wait. I got a nice patch of open hardwoods between two bedding areas. I'm just going to hang out and see what comes up. We had just walked through there an hour earlier. Wasn't expecting anything. Out pops a doe. Going up, safety off, and I'm like, meat in the freezer, so excited, and I'm like, she keeps looking over her back, but not like, tail wasn't flagged like she's scared, and I thought, there's another deer behind her. So safety off, and I wait. And a bigger doe comes out, and I'm like,
"Oh, backstraps on the grill, baby."
That's right. Even better.
I'm tasting it already.
And then, for whatever reason, I didn't shoot, and I'm like, I think there's more deer. Maybe I can't even necessarily think what was going through my mind, but I didn't shoot. And
hunter's intuition,
hunter's that killer instinct, yeah. And then he stepped out. Bert stepped out, and I got to meet Bert. And I told you guys before that I had a bullet that
didn't perform right.
That was him.
That was Bert.
Oh, really?
It was a 308. It went between two ribs, never opened. Came out between two ribs, never opened. Right in the chest cavity, very minimal trauma, very minimal damage. He ran, there was no blood. We just happened up on him and found him. But it was like intervention that
had to have been a roller coaster, right? Because the struggle of a season, you make a good shot and you go up and
inside my head I'm thinking, I'm praying. I'm a prayerful guy, but I've made it a point years ago to talk real quick about my faith, and I know I've said I'll never get preachy, and I won't. But my faith, years ago I changed and decided I'm not going to pray for things. Because I'm a very fortunate person. I'm only going to pray for gratitude and to pray for thanks for all the things and all the blessings that I have in my life. Mm-hmm. But this was, since I made that change maybe a decade ago, this is one of the very few times, maybe count on one hand, the times that I actually prayed and said, God, I can't believe I'm going through this yet again. I got talked into going into the woods and I wounded another deer.
Sick to your stomach.
Sick to my stomach. How is this? I know I hit it. You could tell when you've hunted enough and you've shot enough deer. You can tell when you hit him. He did the donkey kick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the telltale signs of a good hit. Even no blood, and I didn't see him. I'm using a 308.
And you don't have a snow to there
was no snow because it had been raining. Yeah,
that's even worse in the rain because it's got the leaves packed down, so you're not getting the kick up like you would if the leaves are fresh. So that's a tough track job, and blood on the leaf. Even if there is blood in the rain, it just kind of.
Oh yeah, it's so hard to find.
Yeah. Because everything's shiny.
Yeah,
it's hard.
And where he bedded down was on a pipeline. Where they mowed the goldenrod, he bedded down in the wide open.
Oh, nice.
Why? Yeah. It makes no sense other than he was sick, and that's just as far as he made it, and then he was done. But for all the things to fit into all the pieces to fit for me to harvest that deer, for me to actually get to meet Bert and put my hands on him was a pretty eye-opening experience, and the lessons it taught me were that grind. That sometimes you just got to keep pushing. And even when you feel like you have that season where you just can't do anything right, or those seasons where no matter what you're doing, you're just not seeing a deer, one more sit, one more hour, one more trip out, you'd never know. My daughter and I have a saying, and I've probably said it on the show before, deer do deer things. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is you can watch a deer come into a clover. I have a theory, and I've never been able to substantiate this with anybody else, but in my mind, if it's raining or if it had just been raining, hunt clover. Clover holds so much water when it rains, and I feel like the deer love to feed clover after a rainstorm because they're drinking and feeding at the same time. I can't substantiate that anywhere, but I know after a rain myself, I see way more deer in my clover plots, So, but you can go out there, and if you've gone out there and not seen the deer, go again. Because one of these times it's going to work out. Or it's not, because it is hunting, and deer do deer things. Mm-hmm. They're not always going to follow the script. But
it's kind of like a chip in a chair.
Yeah. What's that?
It's a poker term.
Okay.
All it takes is a chip and a seat at the table, and you can build back.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
a chip in a chair. I use it a lot of times. I say it a lot to mean a lot of different things, but that's the gist of it. Is you have a chance. You always have a chance.
You always have a chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I know I never told you guys this story before, but the one time that we were out in Steamboat, and every time, or not Steamboat. It was Colorado. It was Sweetwater Lake. First time we went out to Sweetwater Lake, my grandpa's getting older, and every time we go out, we don't know if that's the last time that he'll be able to hunt. He's always said, like, I'll still go out and sit at camp because that's, again, what we were talking about, that's fun. So on the last day, our last full day of hunting, I talked him into going out, and he's like, there was a little spot that we always looked out, and we really like to go up to this one spot, and I'd sat there a couple of times, and it wasn't too far for him to get up there, and I said, let's go up there and sit for the afternoon. And on my way up, I'm walking with him, and he says, why don't you just go ahead? Just go ahead. You're faster than I am. Get up there, get set down and look at it. And on my way up, I'm like, please God, let this one, give us one for this one, It's been a rough week. We haven't really seen anything. Like I passed up I passed up a small buck on Sunday, just a little forky. And I'm like, I'm not.
Mule deer?
Mule deer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Legal, but not, it was Sunday. We started hunting Saturday. I have 5 more days.
Yeah.
Never saw anything else, So walking up, and he's got a cow tag. I have a deer tag and a bull tag. And I get up there to our spot, and isn't there a cow and a calf right there? And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm like going back, like, hey, get up here, and he's wandering up the road. I'm like, get up here. Come on. Yeah. So he gets it, and he's hustling up the rest of the way up the hill, and he lays down. He's like, I can't find him in my scope. And the whole thing. Well, he ends up harvesting a cow elk.
Oh yeah.
The coolest thing ever. And
I love
but that was it. It was one of those, we were done.
Right.
We had been defeated. Nobody was seeing anything.
Yep.
You're getting kicked while you're down.
Yep.
And it's like, let's go. Just one more time. And I think even this year, or last year when we went, I went out the last afternoon we were there.
Yeah.
And, I kind of broke away from the group, and I just kind of went. And I just walked. I was ticked that we didn't see anything. I drug all these guys out there.
Yeah.
I feel like I showed them a bad time, which it's not, because we hang at camp.
No, you carry those. You put those personal goals on yourself, right? And even though if nobody else puts those goals on you, right? Yeah, I get
when
that.
When you're the hunt master, when you're the organizer, it makes you feel like you owe them something.
It does.
Even though we all
nobody feels that way, but
we've all been the person who is the attendee, I'll say.
Yeah.
And we never put that pressure on.
Never.
But as the organizer, you kind of put it on yourself. And,
absolutely.
And the last day, I was just kind of ticked off when we were in Colorado, and I grabbed my gun, and I just went for a walk, and I just, and that one didn't turn out.
And it was a grind.
Yeah, it was a grind.
The weather turned, and
but that's it. You never know when a grind is gonna
turns into a buck.
Turns into a bird. You never know. And so that time you were grinding it out a season, grinding out a hunting trip. You went for a hike, and it didn't produce.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that next time it won't.
Well, and we went out there, and we walked miles.
Oh yeah.
And we came back. We got back on Halloween which I think was a Thursday, maybe Friday. I don't know what it was. But that very Saturday, I went out for the first time archery hunting and shot a buck. So like, it's the full circle of like, I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, like,
right,
you know, because I would have came back and I would have said, man, I'm done hunting.
Yep.
I just walked all these miles. It's terrible. I'm not even unpacked yet.
Yep.
Just happens, right? Like,
The next season, that was 21, 22. I went out, and it was like several times in a tree stand, and then I see a doe, and it's early October, like 19th, and she's acting sketchy, and I'm like, I did my wind puffer. I'm like, she's not sketchy because of me, because she's out here, and my puff's going this way, you know, and I'm the only one in these woods right now. I know that for a fact, and I thought, she's getting chased, like she's being harassed, you know? And so it was, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that.
No, not.
Yeah.
It was 2 sits in a tree stand and a one tube on a grunt tube, and I put a buck down. And I'm thinking the season before, I mean, I was questioning my entire life. You know?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to hang the bow up. Like, I'm done.
And then this season was like, I couldn't have not gotten a deer, it felt like, you know. Or this past hunting season, 2025. My son, 9 years old, harvested his first deer. A lot of things had to work out for that to happen.
Oh yeah.
I harvested an antelope in Wyoming easily. Like, it was an easy harvest, you know. And there's a lot of antelope out there, and we were on some great property, some great ranches, but like,
well, the whole group.
The whole group harvested. Right? We went 3 for 3 on really good bucks too. And then I came home. I hunted for myself twice. I had 3 days in the archery season to hunt for myself. And on the morning of day 2, I harvested one of my best bucks.
Yeah.
It was just such an easy season for me, you know. And I'm worried, like,
26 you might be paying for it, brother.
26 I feel like I'm going to pay for it. Yeah. You know, but it makes those easy seasons when you have a season like Bert's, then you have, you know, those easy seasons are so much more, I don't know. You're more you're more gratitude for them, maybe, or you appreciate them more.
Well,
you know.
Well, and kind of a different topic, but like with turkey, I shot one on the very last day in 2007, and I got it mounted. Yeah, and it's the same thing this is to you, I'm sure. Every time I look at it, I remember that was a grind.
You hunted hard the whole season.
Know, like, it humbles me.
Yeah, right.
You know, this year I took somebody out, shot one on the first day.
Yeah,
I'm not good. I'm lucky.
Well,
so it humbles you.
It does.
You're like, wow, I don't have it figured out yet.
You have a whole bunch of easy seasons, and you start feeling like, I actually know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then you have 2007 or 2021 season like I had, and it does. It grounds you and makes you think, okay, I actually have to get back to the basics. I have to not forget things like keeping your muscles warmed up while you're sitting in a tree stand. Don't sit there and get into that, because that's why I missed that buck in archery. You know, I sat there I was actually doing this.
I was just going to say, you're on your phone or
playing solitaire for 3.5 hours and look up and there's a buck, and imagine that in 20 degrees snow when I'm wearing my mid-weather suit, you know, I couldn't draw my bow. Well, no kidding. I could have, I get it. It was colder than what I expected, but you can stand up, you can stretch every 10 minutes. You can do things to keep your body. And I think, you know, you might not be there yet. I know you and I are. Mind-wise, I still feel like I'm 25-year-old Sergeant Clark in the United States Marine Corps. Yeah. I can put my body through hell and it still performs flawlessly. And now, if I sleep wrong, you know, I struggle for a week, you know.
I wake up and I'm like, did I run a marathon last night? Or did I move a house in my...
Up here, I'm still 25-year-old Sergeant Clark, you know, but my joints are like,
No, you are.
No, you ain't, boy.
Well, and that's what a while back I had surgery on my knee.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's why, like, whenever I'm archery hunting, I constantly stand up, sit down, stand up, you know, every 20 minutes or so. Yeah. Because I'll go to stand up and it'll give out.
Oh.
Especially whenever it's really cold.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you'd hear the tut of the harness hit. And
we're not going to get into that on this one, but I've come firsthand experience of a tree tether and thank God for it. But like
it works, but
they
also hurt some.
Yeah, it tugs the hell out.
From what I heard, yeah.
It tugs you pretty hard.
Thankfully, I've never experienced, but
yeah, it's you spend enough time in the woods, and if you're like me, and I've talked about this before, I like to hunt, get really tight to bedding areas, and so a lot of times I'm going in the dark, like way dark, with no headlamp on, because these deer, they'll hear you walking, and it's like you'll hear them mirroring you and walking around, not running, they're not spooking. So I'm climbing my tree stand an hour before daylight in the dark with no headlamp on. And sometimes you misjudge things and you go.
I don't know if you covered this with the story, but I know we were talking a little bit beforehand. And I think the after story is just as cool. Like you got to see it with your friend and back home, everything.
Yeah. So, my best friend Curtis was with me, and I got a great video of it. He's a pretty stoic guy. And we'll get him on the show pretty soon. We've got so many stories together because we've hunted together a lot. And it's so funny. We'll talk to other people in our friend group, and they're like, you two could not be more different. He's very stoic, very serious. He's very driven. Like, he is a perfectionist. And when he does something, he's going to do it right, And I'm like, throw it at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we'll learn as we go, And but we're dragging this deer out. We're dragging Bird out of the woods, and I got a pretty funny video.
And what do you think Curtis and I are doing right now? What are we doing, Curtis? What's that? Holy crap!
I thought it was funny, I throw up there, and Curtis was like, why am I friends with you again? But it's that raw motion of you work so hard for a deer or for whatever, a turkey, a deer, a fish, or whatever. You have those seasons where you just work so damn hard, and then it works out, and that emotion, I can't put a word on it.
The wild connection.
It's the wild connection.
That's the word.
1,000%.
Yeah, it's the wild connection.
I told Curtis, I said, I pray with every animal I harvest, And I said a prayer with it, but it was more than just a quick grab an antler, give a sign of the cross, say thanks God. This is amazing. This was you need to give me a minute. I'm just going to sit here with this deer.
Yeah, this means so much.
Take in what the whole season has been for me, and the lessons that I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. And now, because of the podcast and because of what we do, this is lessons that I'm going to get to share with my kids. That I'm passing down to my brothers. To Curtis, and maybe they'll remember. Remember that story that Teddy or Dad or Grandpa in a few years, that story of when he had that season that just he did everything wrong, but he kept doing it, and then it finally worked out. Yeah.
Some people would say, you're too dumb to stop. Well, yeah. Because guess what? It paid off.
It paid off.
I don't know what to tell you.
Right. Yep. So, and then when I got him back to the house, Joan looked at him and was like, it's a beautiful deer. It's not your biggest, but it's a beautiful deer. She goes, and because of what this deer means, she goes, you got to get it. You got to get it mounted.
Yeah.
And I didn't even question her. I was just like, I mean, if your wife says you take a deer to a taxidermist, you just put it in the truck and go straight to you don't question that, right? You just go.
No problem.
That's like if the wife says, hey, I really think you should buy that new truck. You're going to question her?
I don't think we should.
Yeah, no. Okay, honey.
Not today.
No,
here's my keys.
So, I mean, I am, I guess, a little bit disappointed in his lack of
participation
in the episode tonight.
Well, what can you do?
I think he holds a grudge.
He probably does.
He's still side-eyeing us. So there's that. So
it was a roller coaster ride for you. I'm sure it was a roller coaster ride for him too.
Yeah, he's probably like, listen, man, I
was this close to making it.
I mean, he's stuffed full of emotions, I'm sure. I mean, he's got all kinds of stuff going on. That's why he won't even look at you, poor guy.
So, it's sometimes you're successful in your failures.
Yeah.
And you don't know. You have to be reminded that failure after failure is actually just building you up for greatness.
Well, yeah.
And that's like you said, this isn't your biggest buck, but it's probably one of your greatest.
It's probably one of my, your first buck is always super memorable.
Right.
And my first bow buck was really memorable for me. And then this, I would say those three, my first buck, I was a young man. I was 12 or 13. I was with my Uncle Chris, who was like my hero when I was growing up. And I was with my brother, Andy, and I harvested my first deer. It was back before antler point restrictions, so it was 3-point, which back then,
didn't matter.
It didn't matter, right? It was a buck. Yeah. And we were all thrilled, and then, I still remember literally every buck I've ever taken, but then, my first bow buck was super memorable because, nobody in my family really bow hunted. So that was a new adventure that I was kind of just diving into myself. And so I really felt like that was a deer I earned I earned that. I was on state game lands. I scouted the area. I was in a summit climber that I climbed up in it, the old open shot summit climbers, that one felt really good.
Oh yeah.
And then, and since then, of course, you evolve as a hunter and it's like every season I go into every season with, I have these goals for myself. I want to get a deer on public land, or it's never been about size to me, here's a rabbit hole. We always talk about rabbit holes. Why is it? Because this is a huge frustration for me. I feel like, especially on social media, you have to classify yourself as a trophy hunter or a meat hunter.
Yeah.
Why the hell can't you be both? I love memorializing a beautiful deer on the wall, right? It doesn't have to be the biggest, but if it's beautiful to me, I want to memorialize it, right? And I also love cooking game meat. I love having a freezer full of game meat. I still have, not a lot, just Hamburg, but I still have Hamburg from this past year's buck, and I have about 4 or 5 pounds left of antelope meat. I love that.
Well, I was listening to a podcast today. I just caught a clip of it. It was on like TikTok or something. I was watching it, and it threw out a fact that in Pennsylvania, I believe it was less than 10% of bow hunters in the state will ever shoot anything bigger than 125 inches with a bow.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
I have solved that problem because I am terrible at estimating the size of a deer. So I'm like, that one makes me excited.
Yeah.
Done.
That's exactly how I look at it. If a deer makes my heart do this, I'm going to try and kill it. And lucky for me, I feel this when I just hear a deer. Well, I haven't even seen it yet.
I think that statistic, right? I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe you can fact find that, but I think if that's true, majority of bow hunters are meat hunters. Right?
Or they're this hybrid that I'm talking about, or they're what I'm talking about is,
they're shooting what makes them happy.
They're shooting what makes them happy, and it makes them happy because I think a lot of guys are probably in my shoes, but social media makes us feel like we have to try to church up the antler size or no.
Yeah.
Bert is a beautiful deer.
Yeah.
And he put meat in my freezer, and he was so much more than his antlers or his meat even to me. He was a successful season that had kicked the hell out of me. That season just wore me down to the point. I'm a deer hunter through and through. And at the end, before the season was over, I had hung up my rifle and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. But then I did. And I got him,
So and to go back, because I know I talk about him a lot, Randy Newberg. He says on his podcast, don't pass up on day one what you would shoot on the last day.
Absolutely.
So if Bert steps out on the first day of archery,
I'd still
and you'd take them.
Absolutely.
You'd harvest them then.
Absolutely.
And I'm the same way. Like that, the times I've been in Colorado, I passed up 2 mule deer, both forkies.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't regret either of them. And those 2 that I've passed up, I did not harvest on those trips.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I had a standard. I did not want to shoot that. And it's nothing about the antler size. It's the young. It's a first year deer.
Right. Right.
So it's, it's small. It's a small body.
Yeah. I follow that because over the last 5 years, probably at daybreak on the first day of rifle season, I'm shooting a doe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
You want me in the freezer. Yeah. You want to harvest.
It's go time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's time to put meat in the freezer.
Right.
And
we were in Montana on an elk in a mule deer hunt. Like we had to combo tag, right?
Yeah.
And it was either our last day or second to last day to hunt. And we had given up on elk. We had switched gears and we're chasing mule deer now. And Andy had harvested a mule deer doe. And I mean, he might not have he did harvest a doe on that trip. I don't think he had harvested one yet. As far as I remember, nobody had harvested anything yet. And I saw a buck, and it was a nice buck. Nice deep forks on those twos. I mean, I never saw him for a long time, but he wasn't all that far away. But I didn't know where the mountain road. I was just off the mountain road. Like I had just parked my truck and walked 30 yards into the woods, and I had not driven up this road yet. So I didn't know. And those mountain roads, they switch back, right? Yeah. I didn't know where the road was, and the deer was pretty much skylined and so I didn't know what was behind him because I didn't know this area yet. This was our first time on this side of the mountain, and he was skylined. I didn't know where the road was. I didn't know what was beyond him. And I thought, I'm going to wait because I think he's going to take a few steps. And the way that the terrain, when we made a few steps, I would have felt safe with the shot. And his few steps, he disappeared. Yeah. You know? Yep. And I stood this day, I don't regret that at all. Huh. You know, would have everything worked out? 99.9% sure it would have. Mm-hmm. But I know it worked out. I didn't hurt anybody. I had a fantastic trip. Mm-hmm. I got home safe. Isn't that all you want? I mean, that's all you need, right? So I don't regret that at all. It's kind of the same coin. I mean, I could have not pulled the trigger because it wasn't a good enough of a deer for me, but I didn't pull the trigger because it wasn't the right opportunity for me, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
You know?
And 9 out of 10 times, you might be okay.
Yeah.
You want to risk it?
Nope. Never
It's just not worth it.
It's never worth it. Nope. Never worth it.
Go ahead.
And it's all in the hunt is all in what you make it, you know. Yeah. And we talk about the wild connection, and that's, you know, we named the podcast after this theory. But to me, like, the hunt is the culmination. It's the buildup that gives me the excitement.
Yeah.
I love when we plan a hunt and we talk about it all summer long, and we go to the range, or we're buying gear, or, you know, I'm a reloader, so I love to work on loads. And if I'm not going somewhere in the fall, I miss that. Yeah. I lose out on that. You know, one of the main reasons I call my uncle all the time is because we're talking about what trip we're going to do, or, you know, whatever. I'm texting Jesse, or, you know, my favorite part of the year is when we decide where we're going to go. I make the 2026 hunt group, the 2025 hunt group. Like, it's a text message group. And then, you know, and it's something stupid. A bear shows up on the trail cam. You fire it off to him because it's the hunt group for the year. Yeah. You're just driving the excitement.
Yep.
The hunt is so much more, and it's. I know there's a couple people that aren't sportsmen that actually listen to our podcast because they told me. Right. I'm like, oh, that's great. But to explain it to them, it's not about the take. It's not about the harvest. It's about the time you spend with the people. Yeah. It's the things that you get to see. It's the I always call out west hunting hiking with a purpose.
Yeah, it is. But it is. Yeah.
Sometimes a little more hiking than the purpose, but
well, my daughter and I talked about this. She hunted really hard last year. She didn't harvest a deer, but she, at the end of the season, was like, Dad, we had a really cool season, and we had a lot of really cool experiences. She got to see our first bear in the wild. Like, we've seen bears in our house. We've a ton of bears in our house all the time. We've seen bears in our yard, but this was our first. She got to experience a bear while she was out in the woods. She got to experience some really cool hawks and owls, doing hawk and owl things out in the woods. You know,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we were leaving our pistachio shells. We were eating pistachios. You know, and we were leaving them in the. Just throwing the shells on the blind floor, you know. Yeah. And then one morning we come in and they were all scattered about, and there's raccoon tracks all through these. You know, the raccoons were in there sniffing and scurrying through all the shells and stuff.
That's all good until the raccoon's still in there.
You get the blind in the dark.
One time. Yeah. Crawled up to the top of the tree stand, opened the door. There's a raccoon sitting there, like, okay.
Yeah. I used to.
Now what do we do?
I bow hunted southeast Kentucky for a few years in September. They got a nice early season down there, and I spent. I'm in a tree stand overlooking a big bean field. And I've been sitting there for about an hour, and I hear this snoring, and I'm like, it's weird. I'm looking around, I don't see anything, and I hear it again, and I'm like, and I look, and there was a big Y in a tree behind, and so I looked over, and there was an opossum who had climbed up. He had heard me, and he climbed up. He had his his head rested on his paws. And he must have been staring at me, and he got so bored he fell asleep. He was just sawing logs, dude. So I got selfies of me with this possum because I woke him up then, and he just hung out with me all evening. It was great.
Jesse,
well, then you question everything. You're like, how did he sneak up on me?
Yeah.
You're like, what am I even
doing? Attention? Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I believe this story because anybody that falls asleep watching Teddy, that's not possible.
Because I know you're sitting in the tree stand, bebopping around.
Probably talking to him.
Fidgeting around with the blind or whatever.
He's got him named. He's back there. He's over there going, hey, Mr. Possum.
Poor guy's taking a nap and he's trying to feed him crackers or something.
I did pet him.
Oh, yeah.
I did pet him.
I knew that was coming.
I had to. Like that. I don't know if you've seen that popular meme with that little girl on the front porch, and there's a bear right on the other side.
I think I have seen
and she's like, "Can I pet that dog?" That was me.
Yeah. Can I pet that
dog? Yeah.
Oh man. What were we talking about? Bert. We were talking about Bert.
So the harvest for you is equally as important as everything after. You got to celebrate with your friend Curtis, your wife.
That's right. Yeah.
She got to let you mount it.
And I think now what's more important than any of that is just that feeling and that story that I'm reminded of every time I look at this deer. In that I overcame a rough season. And I've had rough seasons before, and sometimes you don't come on the other side of it with a successful hunt. But this time I did, and this time I did because I just kept
grinding,
just kept pushing, you know. And I had a good network of friends. Like Curtis was able to go out in the woods with me. My wife actually pays attention to me as I'm talking about hunting, even though she's not a hunter. All these things that I'm actually, I kind of joke about, but I'm actually really grateful. I'm really grateful that my wife actually pays attention to me.
Oh, yeah.
And doesn't just totally gloss over when I'm talking about something that she's not really interested in, but she knows I'm passionate about it, so she pays attention. And she reminded me that for years you've been saying you wanted to do this. And I remember the conversation. She's like, I'm not a hunter, but I think for what you were saying you wanted to do, isn't this like the perfect time? And I'm like, yeah, it really is.
Maybe I should go.
I think I'm going to go. Kind of one of those things. If your wife tells you to go hunt, you just go hunt. I mean, you don't question it. So
usually mine says, we need meat in the freezer.
Yeah.
You better get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good wife. I mean,
Yeah. Awesome.
So
well, I think we should thank Bert for being on, even though he's kind of been one of our
more quieter guests, but he's kind of one of those like what do they call it?
The silent strong type.
That's exactly what I was trying to get. How did you get that? That's what I was trying to go for.
I speak Teddyese.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
It's like groundhogese. You know how Punksy Phil.
Yeah.
How the handler.
Right.
I might be your handler.
That got weird. Got weird. All right. You're not the strangest guy in the room now.
Cut this episode.
I mean, so we've had to edit out us just losing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna edit in yours and Curtis's recovery. This is. I feel like I should get a little bit extra pay this episode.
Sure.
He's just full of it.
Hey, we'll double what you were getting before.
Sweet. Carry the 2. That's 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still 0. That's right. Yeah.
Even if you round it up.
We're doing this for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
Making more work for Joe.
Yeah, I like it.
Because for somewhere between a half hour and an hour and a half, we get to pretend like we know what we're talking about.
Right.
But more importantly, we get to hang out and just BS and just have a good time.
Literally laugh until I had to take my headset off and wipe the tears out of my eyes.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was good. So, now that we have a camera and I remember where it is, if you have a story like mine with Bert, where you had an animal that you were able to harvest because you just kept after, or on the other side of that, you had an animal that you were able to harvest because you did everything right off the bat. Any kind of a story like that, holler at us, let us know, because we'd love to have you guys on and hear about somebody else's harvest. Bring it in or don't bring it in, have some pictures, whatever. Because this is a show for all of us, for everybody that's in the outdoor community. And so we'd love to just keep bringing more people in. So,
yeah. And I guess 2 things, with the new camera and everything else, I don't know if I said it, but if you guys have anything you want us to improve on, whether it's, audio, or you want us to have somebody on, or the cameras,
or get rid
better
of Joe.
or worse.
We can't get rid of Joe. He does all the editing.
He'll still edit, but we'll keep him in the background.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with 3 times my pay if you guys keep it up.
The other thing is, Teddy, you have some big news in the community that you want to bring up about Mitchell.
Yeah, so talking about hunting camp and your hunting buddies, Mitchell is my nephew. He's been one of my best hunting buddies forever. He just today graduated from Army basic training, his AIT aspect of basic training. The Army breaks it into 2 segments, really. There's basic, like boot camp, and then they have their AIT training. And today, Mitchell Clark graduated as field artillery in the U.S. Army. So we could not be more proud of Mitchell. But he's on his way home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so hopefully we'll get him on the show soon.
Yes.
And I'll get him out in the woods, and we'll do some hunting together and some fishing here pretty soon. I'm really excited about that. So
yeah.
That'd
be awesome.
I can see it already.
yeah, he has no excuse for not getting a deer now.
I was gonna say he messes it up.
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations.
What's beautiful is he harvests the deer and he cleans it and he creates a bunker all with one shot.
Nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So no, we jest, but congratulations, Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're all friends with Mitchell.
Yep.
And couldn't be prouder
Yeah, he
of
serves
him.
on the fire hall with you guys
Yes.
too. So
Couldn't be prouder of
Privilege
him.
watching him grow up.
yeah.
He joined whenever he's 14, and it's hard to believe.
He's a great kid. Well, he's a great young man. I guess not a kid anymore.
I mean, he's what, 19 now or 20?
20.
Yeah, I guess we can't call him. He's still a kid in our eyes.
He's still 14 because I haven't got any older.
Yeah.
So
He's still half our age, so.
My brain hasn't gotten any older.
Well, I'm with you there.
The rest of me has. I was like snap and pop sitting in my chair. So, thanks for listening, and stay tuned because I'm sure we're going to roll out a whole bunch more.
Yeah. Number 10's on its way.
Can't wait.
So,
all right. Thanks, guys.
Good deal.
thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
night.